So I've gone back and forth on how I'm gonna actually move the wing or actuate the wing. And in order to have the speed and the more or less the agility of moving up and down fairly quickly, I think the best route would be a pneumatic cylinder like this. So this one, I'm gonna get 2 of them, but this one, for example, I believe has about a 6-inch stroke, which is what I need. This is a 2-way valve, which this is the wrong valve. I'm gonna have to order a different one because I want to have the ability to bring it up, and like if I want to leave it up, or if I want to bring it down. So there is a valve that you actually can push in one position and then push it in the opposite direction to lower it, and it always returns back to center. So I'll get that ordered. But yeah, you just run, since I'm going to be having an air ride system on the truck, I'm already going to have a compressor and a tank. So pneumatic cylinders a no-brainer at the end of the day. So yeah, so all you do is throw air to the valve. This is just a manifold to separate the air into 2 different directions, which I'll have my right and my left, and then it goes to the pneumatic cylinder. So the biggest challenge with the pneumatic cylinder and the wing is when the pneumatic cylinder is compressing, pushing the wing up like this, it's not just a straight line. There is some type of arc to it, because as the wing comes up, this point goes in towards the front of the truck. And so I need to find a spot somewhere inside the cab. There's an outer layer and an inside layer skin. That there is some space in here, but I want to get as far out as possible, just have the best leverage point. And so that is going to be the challenging part, is figuring out exactly where to mount it inside the cab. Try to tuck it in between these 2 layers, the inside layer of the cab and the outside layer, all while retaining that range of motion that I need. And I mean, I could easily just put it on the inside of the cab right here, but then that just looks kind of clunky, and then it's going to mess with the roll cage because I want to keep the roll cage tight to the skin. So some challenging things with this, but I mean, the biggest thing for me is I don't want to cut the inside of the cab and have it be a spot that doesn't work, and now I have a big spot in the cab that's I've got to fix. So I'm going to take some measurements, try to figure this out in my head before I start cutting, but hopefully we can get it tucked inside the cab for the most part. You know how I was saying I didn't want to cut into the cab and make a mistake? Well, I didn't make a mistake, but I decided to go a different route, which is also fine. These are just going to be kind of inspection covers. I got threaded bolts like on this one. But what I'm going to end up doing actually is putting the pneumatic cylinder down here in the corner of the cab. That way, if I have to get a different size, or I mean, it's ease of access, it's right there. I mean, this will definitely help when I'm routing everything up there. Little unfortunate, but not the end of the world. So for example, here's the pneumatic cylinder. So I think I'm gonna mount it in here someplace, because it's gotta be able to move a little bit. And I think just up in here, it would have been tight, but I mean, at the end of the day, I could throw a cover on this too, so you wouldn't even see the cylinder down there. So that's kind of the plan so far. So now that I have the pneumatic cylinder base welded with a Heim joint on the end, the next step would be more or less so this is where I'm planning on putting the heim joint. And I'm gonna make a base. So this heim joint will slide in. And I did a heim joint mainly because I need that range of motion, because once the wing tips up, you can see it goes forward. And so I need that motion. And a heim joint gives you a little bit more flexibility, and so that's why I went with that. So we'll mount this down here with a good solid base plate, and then I will weld these two pieces together, whatever length. And this is a reverse thread, and this is just the regular thread. And so I can twist this pole, or the pipe, as soon as or tubing, whenever I weld it in, and then I can do little micro adjustments and then have these jam nuts to lock it in place. So I'm gonna get working on the base and then figure out the length, and then also figure out where I'm gonna cut up here and mount it to the wing. So I'm trying to figure out the location for the push rod for the wing. So the outside of the cab and then the inside of the cab is about here. So I have about a 2-inch space to work with, and then it ends about here, which is fine. I'm not gonna need that much forward movement. But I thought to myself, let me just drill a test pilot on a rod, and then I will run it down, which you can see right here, just to make sure that I have all my clearance. And I'm actually glad that I cut this access panel, because when the push rod's in place, and if I need to do any micro adjustments, this is where I'm gonna have to do it. And then I can also access the jam nut that's gonna be right up here on the top side of that heim joint. So actually happy I did that, but I think this is gonna work. I have the clearance that I need. Okay, so I ran into an issue. No big deal. It's my own fault, but my channel for my wiring diagram? My channel for my wiring is actually in the way of where the push rod for the wing is gonna be. So you can see it goes up, hits right there. So I'm gonna have to cut this out, move it over here. And yes, there's gonna be a hole in my cab. Yes, rain could potentially get in it. Am I gonna be driving this truck in the rain? My goal is over 700 horsepower, so probably not. Wouldn't be that fun anyway. So anyway, race truck. Might be some holes in it here and there, who cares? So now that I have the tabs tacked in place for the push rods, I need to take the wing off again. And now I at least have a correct position to put the other tab on this side, and I'll tack that in place, put the wing back on, and then actuate it, function it, and see if it's binding anywhere, if I have all my angles right. Push rod mounts are welded in place for the most part. I can cut them out if I have to. I don't want to fully weld everything in until I actually test it on the truck. So let me put the wing back on the truck, and then let's see what the next steps are. Okay, so it is getting hung up where I cut these holes, which is understandable. They're just small holes right now. I have to open these up anyway. But so far, I feel like this should work. But let me get my Dremel and open up these holes a little bit more and just fine tune, just so I can get the clearance in the whole range of motion. So I'm going to bench test the pneumatic cylinders. This is the wrong valve that I'm going to be using, but it's the one that I accidentally ordered. I have a manifold to separate the air for 2, but the first test I'm going to do is just going to be with 1 pneumatic cylinder. And so I'm going to hook up my compressor. Okay, so no leaks so far. I'm going to slowly open this. Oh geez. So the question is, how do you get it to come back? So I'm pretty sure I bought the wrong valve, which I stated before, which is fine, but for test purposes, I can still show you guys how it'll work, and I'm gonna throw it in the truck and see what happens. But before I do that, I wanted to show everyone how, if anyone's questioning, yes, this whole wing is gonna be made out of steel, and it is not gonna be lightweight by all means, but can these pneumatic cylinders still push this wing that probably is gonna end up weighing, I don't know, 40 pounds or so? Well, I'm gonna try to ease into this, and I'm gonna push down on this pretty hard. So, easing into it, it reacts very quickly. So, and I don't think I'm not gonna have any problem pushing that wing up with 2 of these. Okay, so here's the push rod. We have it all put in place, the pneumatic cylinder with the base plate. It's just tacked in place, but you can kind of see what it looks like from the inside of the cab. I have it plumbed up, just have the manifold sitting right there to break the air into the 2 cylinders, and then the valve up there. So eventually I will cover this whole back piece. I mean, I'm gonna probably put some electronics or all the air compressor stuff potentially back here. So this will all be plated off, and you won't be able to see any of this once I get to that point. Okay, moment of truth. I turned down my regulator down to 40 PSI. Yeah. Is anyone nervous, or is it just me? It's just, oh shit. Okay. Maybe I should have the valve in the right place, but but at least it went up. Jeez, that scared me. Okay. But, well, you just experienced it for the first time like I did. All right, let's try that again. Oh my gosh, I got a leak somewhere. Is that not cool or what? Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh. Is that ever gonna get old? Dude, that's so sick. Okay, well, now that it works, that we know that it works, let's put it up. Don't have to lift it up. I'm gonna gusset this and kind of weld this all in right here so it has a lot. It'll take some of that load and distribute it over. Then I'll plate it, put that acrylic back in. Oh my gosh. It is time to finally put the bottom plate on the wing. So I have to notch out the section where the push rods go. I should have kept my template. It would have made this a lot easier, but I'll just make another little short template from draw a line on the wing, draw a line on the bottom plate, and then make a template from here out. And that should give me a pretty rough idea where I should start cutting. after I cut this out for the push rod, realized I needed a little notch to be able to get the bolt in and out. So this side's done, got to do the other side, and then got to heat up these corners, bend these down a little bit. But once I get the other side done, then I can start tacking this in place and getting this bottom plate put on. Okay, that's going to be the end of this episode. I still need to go back and blend and grind and do all that to this wing. I need to make some minor adjustments here, but I'm pretty happy how it turned out. Ecstatic, actually. I wanted something that was quick reacting, and these pneumatic cylinders are doing the job just right. So next week's episode, I'm not sure what I'm going to get my hands into, but I'm probably going to start diving into the upper and lower control arms on the front to extend them 6 inches so I can start working on the wide body, because just staring at these tires poking out without a wide body is killing me. So I think that's what's next, is wide body. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.